So, Trump wants to bring American manufacturing back, huh? Yeah, that's the dream, isn't it? The good old days when factory lines hummed, workers had jobs, and life seemed simple. Back when a man could just walk into a factory, punch in, and feel like he was part of something big. But here's the thing. That dream? It's a bit of a nightmare when you start peeling back the layers. Let's get real for a second. This whole bring manufacturing back thing? It's a fantasy. And the sooner we accept that, the sooner we can actually start building something real for the future. Look, back in 2020, Fox did a survey in America's Rust Belt, aka the Great Lakes region, where they asked the working class what era they miss the most. And guess what they said? The post-World War II days, when factories were booming, the American dream was thriving, and everything felt, well, stable. You know the type. Guys clocking in, working hard, coming home to catch the game, while the wife is cooking dinner and the kids are playing baseball outside. It was like the golden age of America. But let's not get too romantic about it. Because guess what? That whole image, it's a Hollywood fantasy. You see, when Fox showed Americans footage of Foxconn's factory in China, where people are working 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, they were shocked. The pay? $4 an hour. But here's the kicker. The workers wanted the overtime. Why? Because without it, they couldn't even cover their basic expenses. For dollars an hour. While you guys are out here complaining about minimum wage. And it gets worse. Want to guess what's happening in Foxconn's Indian factories? They're getting paid $1.50 an hour. Yep, $1.50. Try wrapping your head around that. Now, Americans, especially those who've been fed this whole bring the factories back idea, don't seem to realize that this is the competition. It's not China anymore. It's India. It's Indonesia. It's a whole new global reality where costs are lower, working conditions are, well, let's say, not ideal. And the game has changed. But here's where it gets really crazy. People in the US still have this delusion that if these factories come back to America, they'll just follow US labor laws and all will be well, right? Oh, so naive. Let's be honest. Americans don't want to work in those factories anymore. Sure, they're nostalgic for the idea, but ask yourself, how many of you would really want to get into a factory job if it meant 12-hour shifts, repetitive work, and minimal pay? The truth is, we're just not built for that anymore. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Things were different back then. But now, you've got whole generations that are done with the grind of factory work. They're not going back to that kind of labor. They'd rather hustle in a gig economy, start a side hustle, or jump into the tech world. It's not about hard work anymore. It's about smart work. It's about innovation. And we've evolved beyond those factory lines. That's not to say manufacturing doesn't still matter. It absolutely does. But the kind of manufacturing Trump's trying to resurrect? That's already dead. And here's where it gets funny. Trump's whole plan, this whole "we're bringing jobs back" thing, it's based on one giant, outdated assumption, that Americans want those jobs. Do you really think people are going to stand in line for those jobs? Those 1950s jobs? You're kidding, right? And this is the kicker. Trump knows this. He knows it's a fantasy. But why not sell it? Why not tell the voters what they want to hear? You've got to give them hope somehow, right? Even if it's just a recycled idea that's been dead for decades. But here's the thing. Real change comes from innovation, not nostalgia. We can't afford to keep living in the past. The factories of the future aren't going to look anything like the factories of the past. They'll be automated. They'll be high-tech. They'll be driven by AI robots and a whole new skill set that most Americans just aren't ready for. So, if Trump, or anyone else, wants to get serious about reindustrialization, cool. Let's see the plan. But if all they've got is empty slogans, steel tariffs, and that weird, awkward dance Trump does at rallies, I'm sorry. You're not reindustrializing America. You're just LARPing as a 1950s Superman while the world moves on. Let's stop buying the fantasy. Let's start asking better questions. Because the factories of the future, they won't be built by nostalgia. They'll be built by truth.